Stress is a normal facet of life. For students, however, stress can lead to a suboptimal mindset, behavior, and performance, which can lead to negative consequences and missed opportunities. Because of our natural stress response, the SMR model from the rubber brain depicts that our response to stress would be inherently negative because of our belief that all stress is bad and should be avoided at all costs. Such thinking then leads to poor well-being behaviors that act as our coping mechanisms when faced with any sort of stresses in life. However, the key to utilizing the stresses in life begins with altering the stereotypical thinking to life stresses, which will ultimately produce optimal stress responses and enhance student well-being. According to the Lazarus model of the stress response, the presence or absence of resources to deal with the life stresses plays a significant role in the ability of a person to be able to cope with the stressor and alter its impact on their health and well-being. A key part of these resources uh, that are crucial to the stress response includes coping strategies, which include problem-focused strategies and emotion-focused strategies. These coping strategies aim to target different parts of the stress response, so either the source of the stress response or to manage the emotional aspects of the stress response. Problem-focused strategies include cognitive reappraisal and time management, both of which target the source of stress, and the emotion-focused strategies look to allow a person to manage their emotions during times of stress to prevent suboptimal responses such as anger or anxiety. A 2017 study by Dr. Vikas Campbell showed that students that used emotion and problem-focused coping strategies had much lower levels of academic stress compared to those that didn't employ them at all. These strategies, which were used in an experiment consisting of 600 students, showed that the students who used these strategies were able to combat their stresses in an effective manner. Another study from 1986 by Shire, M.F., Weintraub, J.K., and Carver, C.S., explored the differences in optimism and problem-focused coping to stress and found that people that had optimistic outcomes were positively associated with problem-focused coping, especially when the situation was controllable. Even with all the evidence that countless other studies have shown for the effectiveness of problem and emotion-focused coping strategies to stress, it is important to understand how they can be applied to our lives to improve our own well-being and outcomes. One important problem-focused strategy, cognitive reappraisal, aims to tackle our perception to a future outcome, whether that be not being able to submit an assignment on time or knowing that you won't make the final cut for a job position, and therefore understanding what actions can be taken beforehand or afterward that will lead to situations or events that will provoke a lower or a positive stress response. Time management, another important problem-focused strategy, requires establishing and organizing goals by urgency and importance. Goals that are attainable and set to specific time frames to encourage or force progress towards another goal, or a bigger goal as a direct response to the negative stress response that a future assignment or presentation at work will provoke. Emotion-focused coping strategies include physical activity, which has been shown to induce hormonal changes that induce stress. Another key strategy is mindfulness, which involves a focus on bodily sensations and active thinking. Mindfulness allows a person to focus on their daily methods and promote awareness around their daily life and reassess their feelings and emotions in that current moment. Physical techniques such as deep breathing allow a person to put focus on their present self that is required to properly exercise mindfulness. Emotion-focused strategies require a good understanding of self and the body's needs in order to manage different emotional states during times of stress. Overall, stress coping strategies are effective when employed in the right manner with the right plans set for implementation. In future scenarios, where you are experiencing times of stress, you'll be able to employ some of the coping strategies that we discussed and be able to improve your overall outcomes and well-being.